What's up? It's the Incurable Collector. So what I'm doing here is not necessarily a review, nothing in depth. It's more of a first take or a first look, if you will. Just a few thoughts about the new Darth Vader from Revoltech. This is the first figure in the new Star Wars line. I think the Stormtrooper will be their second. But so yeah, I couldn't find any reviews on this guy prior to the purchase. I couldn't find anything on YouTube. I couldn't find anything on the net. Nothing. You know, now that I have him, I know why. Because nobody's buying him. And why nobody's buying him? Because he's not a good figure. Now, there are some things I do like about him. Don't get me wrong. The helmet is great. The sculpting on the figure overall is great. I mean, it's Darth Vader, and they did a really good job of capturing that. I do prefer this look, the slender look, over the chubby Hasbro version, right? But the things I do like about him are just vastly overshadowed by the dislikes. And most of those have to do with the cape. It's a train wreck. It's a mess. And I don't understand, because with Vash, they pulled it off. It works so well. It actually complements the character, his trench coat. It adds to the posability. It doesn't take away from it. It actually makes the figure better. It just works in every way. With Vader, the opposite. It hinders the posability. It makes the figure very back heavy, so he's very difficult to keep in a pose without toppling over. The way that it did the cape, they separated it into a few different pieces, and they're all attached by a Revoltech joint. So you have this piece here, that's one on the shoulder, that's one, that's two, that's three, that's four. Then on the back underneath, that's 5 and 6. Then you come over here to the left hand side, that's 7, that's 8, plus the 2 skirt pieces in the front. So that's 10. And each piece is held together, with exception to the skirt pieces, by a Revoltech joint. So when they're all snapped together, they're just one giant piece of plastic. Very rigid. No play whatsoever. No give. You can barely get any pose at all with him doing any type of action pose when the cape is snapped together. And then when you unsnap it, at least the 2 front pieces here, they just had a tendency to swing forward and flop all over the place. Which I guess that, by them, if you move them forward, kind of gives you, the look as if he has his cape is kind of flowing over him. Kind of like this with the Hasbro. But it doesn't work. It looks off. And it just doesn't work in no way as far as I'm concerned. I just don't like it. Of course, that's subjective. Other people feel differently. But that's just what I think about it. Overall, I think Hasbro's version is better. Overall. Why? Because it's just more fun. The fun factor. It has a much higher fun factor. If you want to compare the lightsabers, with Hasbro being on the bottom, Revoltech's on the top. A lot of paint slop with the Hasbros. The Revoltech is much more slim. A better job there, but again, the cape really brings this figure down, which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to this figure. I wanted it to succeed, but it's a fail. But like I said, it's not entirely bad. There are some really good things about it. Like I mentioned before, the head sculpt is great. The helmet is just awesome. Much better than Hasbro's. Which looks like, Vader been spending a lot of time at the local Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, he's chubby. Whereas Revoltech is more, more Vader in his prime. This is Vader, 50 years later. Needs to work out a bit. But yeah, so that's just a quick few thoughts. You know, I like to do a little research on these figures before I'm buying them, especially when they're imports. You want to know what you're investing in, because they're not entirely cheap. So because I couldn't find anything, I thought I'd put something up, something really quick, just to show you what you will be receiving, and so it's not a complete blind purchase. Vader.